Yeah, thank you very much, Javier. I'm really happy to be here today and to share with you our journey with reshaping our total reward strategy at Henkel. So what we are going to share with you today, or what I'm going to share with you today, is what we're doing with regards to our total reward strategy in a journey that we started already in 2020 before Corona. So it is indeed something that has been evolving for a year, and it will continue to evolve and keep us busy, I would say, for the coming 2 years at least. I'm not sure if everybody in the meeting today is aware of Henkel and what business units we work with and what the purpose of Henkel is. So I would like to start already with a short video to give you a short introduction about our company.
All started with a dream. 145 years ago, Fritz Henkel, an entrepreneur and courageous pioneer at heart, revolutionized the everyday life of people. With that, he launched a legacy of care for his employees, society, and the environment. Long before the concept existed, he put sustainability first. Today, the name Henkel still stands for these values. Our sense of unity has made us a diverse community of over 52,000 that customers and consumers put their trust in. Together, we enrich and improve the lives of billions every day through our products, services, and solutions. And we have the potential to impact even more. We will build on our pioneering spirit, knowledge, and resources to shape a purposeful future for the next generations. With our innovation and technology, we create value for customers and consumers, bring success to our teams, and are a force for good in the world. We are Henkel. We are pioneers at heart for the good of generations.
Yeah, so that's just a short introduction about the company and our purpose that we have actually launched a couple of weeks ago. It's reinvented, I would say, what we have introduced. And in order for you to be more familiar also with our brands or our business units, I share with you as well what business units we operate in. And I hope the next slide goes through, because so far I think it is still on the video.
Yes, I also see it still on the video.
Yeah, let me see.
I guess somebody is, maybe you can click to the next one. Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have our company is made up of 3 business units: adhesive technologies, that is more of a business-to-business industry focused part of our company, and it makes up actually almost 50% of the organization. And I don't know if this is an info that you know, but actually we are the global leader in adhesive technologies across the globe. And mainly people don't know the brands, but I can bet that either the car you're driving or the mobile you're holding or the laptop includes a Henkel adhesive material. And we have also beauty care and as well laundry and home care business units. And in terms of global footprint, we are actually present in almost every country across the world, and our global headquarters is in Düsseldorf in Germany, and we have regional locations across the different regions with North America, Latin America, Asia Pacific, and as well EMEA, and of course Europe. And this all adds into the landscape that we have within Henkel and adds to the diverse workforce that we have. So just to give you some key information, we are indeed present in 140. We are indeed present in the market since 144 years, and we are active in almost 80 countries across the globe. And one of the things that we are quite proud of is that we are a strong force of almost 53,000 employees globally. And they are covering all the nationalities that you can think of, with 125 nationalities. And we are also quite proud of our diversity within our leadership teams, within our management levels, that we have approximately 37% of our managers are female. So this is also something that we are very strong, have a strong focus on and want to continue with. In order to bring a little bit of where we are focusing as a company, and this would also take us through our total reward strategy. So at the beginning of 2020, we introduced our new purposeful growth strategy, and that is to win the 20s, and that's referring to the 20s of this decade, through purposeful growth. And what that means for us is that we are creating superior customer and consumer value, as well as reinforcing our leadership in sustainability and enabling our people to grow with a strong sense of belonging. And this is exactly the message that we have also adopted within our HR vision, that we are there in order to make sure that we enable the business in making sure that the business is successful through the power of people, because in the end, this is how we are strong and how we are able to perform within the markets. And therefore, it is important that we create this close link between the company and the employees as well. And what guides us in order to be able to live this vision is that we believe in the diversity of our team, with the different nationalities, and also the gender diversity, but of course not limited only to that. And we believe that we have also we're proud of our international, let's say, profiles that we have within the organization, that we have people who can grow from one country to the other. I'm personally one of them, because I started in Egypt at Henkel, and now I'm here in the headquarters. And what is also quite important is that we are also not only having cross-border assignments as career opportunities for the employees, but also the mobility, the internal mobility of our employees is also very important across the 3 business units. And it is maybe worth noting that we at Henkel are actually fostering that we can have people who are moving from beauty care to laundry, from laundry to the functions, from adhesive technologies to laundry and home care, or to the functions, that this internal mobility is something that we are quite proud of, and that we want to continue to support also going forward. We are a performance-oriented company by all means, and we want to also foster this a strong performance culture and make sure that we encourage and reward also outstanding and excellent performance of our employees and of course of the company. In terms of our leadership, so we introduced our leadership commitments in 2019. They are, let's say, what unifies us as a workforce within the company. It's not only for people managers who have leadership responsibilities, it's actually applied for all of the 53,000 employees across the world. And this is what guides us into how we behave and how we act also at Henkel. Moving into how we bring this actually to life. So our aim is to ensure as HR, of course, that we shape a superior employee experience for our employees. And we look at this by looking at the core of the employee journey and the employee experience across that journey, and make sure that this is the focus of how we develop our people and culture related initiatives. So throughout that whole journey, of course, Total Rewards also plays an active role, but most significantly where we contribute is within the performance and motivation management. And this is also where we have this quite vividly visible through our STI and LTI schemes and our pay for performance philosophy, if you may say. When it comes to the total reward strategy. Why are we reviewing it now? So now I mean like also starting last year. We have the new Henkel strategy, and we also have this year introduced our new purpose. And it is important to take a pause and see, is our total reward strategy reflecting what the company is standing for? Is it supporting the strategy of the company? Looking at our diverse workforce, as I mentioned, with our global presence and our diversity within our employee landscape, it is also the expectation of employees that they have what is so-called personalized packages. And I think we heard this over the course of the seminar we had since yesterday, that people are expecting to have the possibility to personalize their packages. Why not? And they want to ask, or they are actually demanding some more flexibility when it comes to total rewards, as they are having also this personalized experience with every aspect of their life. Also, the expectations of the workforce are changing and the needs are different. And in the beginning of our journey, we also had a look into the personas of the employees. And we identified that the common denominator is that people just need flexibility. We cannot, let's say, segment them into genders or into generations or ages. That is not relevant. It's in the end that the flexibility is what plays a role. And more than ever, even with the pandemic, we have a very high competition within the labor market across the globe. And we need to, as a global company, ensure that we are able to attract and also retain our talent. So how do we live this with our ambition as Total Rewards is that we want to strengthen Henkel's position as an employer of choice. And that's not only for the external candidates, but also for the internal employees, that they feel that they are working for an employer that also reflects their aspirations and what they are looking for. And what we want to do and what we're aiming for is to make sure that we have an equitable and competitive rewards offering for our employees. We want to make sure that we are also able to provide attractive packages that in the end cater to the needs of the diverse population that we have, and that we are also reflecting sustainability in the total rewards concepts that we are having. And I'm not only talking about ESG targets in our STI, but also, for example, how we provide our, instead of the old concept of company cars, that we have also mobility solutions for the employees. And here I'm not referring to global mobility, but rather the commuting mobility, if you may say. In order for us to actually be an employer of choice, we need first to understand the employee's perspective. And this, I can tell you, was a pyramid that I'm quite happy that we had with our consultants who helped us to develop our total reward strategy. Indeed, the perspective of the employees on what total rewards is no longer my base salary, my STI, my pension and benefits. In the end, it's what the company offers. And not only from a monetary perspective and not only from a benefits perspective. And we need to look at our employees as our customers. We need also, from our marketing and sales colleagues, need to understand the customers and what their needs are and how they perceive the product. And for us, we are, as Henkel, as an employer, we are the product that we are also promoting for our external talents that we would like to attract, and also the internal ones that we want to retain. So in addition, of course, to the company culture that is becoming more and more also important and relevant for the employees, we have the typical compensation and benefits offerings that are out there that we, of course, would want to continue to offer in a fair, equitable, and competitive manner. We also have this experience aspect. So this is where the non-monetary aspect also is more predominant, that people want to make sure that they are working for a company that takes care of them, of their well-being, provides them with the flexibility that they need. Now the discussion about future of work is even more prominent, and this is what the people are demanding, this flexibility. It's not just something that we are offering as a nice to have, it is there to stay, and we need to be also aware of that. And also this career development aspect is also one thing. And what I was mentioning about our internal employee mobility earlier in the beginning is that this is one of the reasons why, for example, we say we need to ensure as Total Rewards that we provide the needed infrastructure from a systems perspective, from a process perspective, from a policy perspective, to enable this internal mobility, either cross-border or even within a country, but across business units and functions. That in the end, when an employee is moving from adhesive technologies, for example, from marketing to finance, for instance, that they don't all of a sudden need to change their STI schemes and how their salary bands are being developed and need to educate themselves on a different total rewards offering. It needs to be unified in a way that would ease also this internal mobility. And last but not least, for sure, is the purpose of the company. And employees are more looking into what are the values of the companies that are out there that I would like to join. Is it important for me? Does it reflect my own values? Is this a company where I know I will spend a significant part of my day in? Is this where I want to be? And we are also living this with our new purpose with regards to what you have seen also in the video, that we are pioneers at heart for the good of generations. This is also reflecting the sustainability focus that we have, the diversity focus that we also have as a company. In order for us to understand, in addition to the employee perspective, where we stand to start the total reward strategy journey, we started by first having a benchmarking, and we needed to understand where do we stand with our offerings, where is the market trend going? And this was the first step that we have done, and it took quite a while for us to ensure that we also have this perspective. Then the second thing is that we said we need to ensure that we listen to our employees to understand their needs. So looking at the previous chart where we had this employee perspective, we also need to listen to our own employees and see what are their needs, what are their focuses, what is most important for them, what does total rewards also mean for them. And based on these employee listening sessions, we had the personas created, and we also had co-creation sessions in order to segment the population into different personas, like based on their career stage, maybe their family status, in order to identify what is common among them. And as I mentioned, flexibility is what they are asking for more than ever. And the second or the third part that we had was to consult internally and as well externally. So we continued consulting with our partners from HR consultancy perspective. And also internally, what we've done is that we have set up an total rewards sounding board where we actually have members from the corporate HRBP organization, also global representations from the business, with global business leaders, as well the regional HR perspective as well. So this sounding board was there to be let's say, the first phase of review whenever we think about a direction that we want to go for with regards to our strategy and with regards to our concepts that we were revising. And then once we are aligned on this, we were able to redefine what we would want to introduce in terms of our strategy, and as well redefining the concepts themselves. And then we get the necessary approvals and introduce the adapted or new strategy, as well as the enhanced concept, and communicate them accordingly. And that's what we have been doing actually also since last year. And right now we are in the adapt and communicate phase for some of the concepts, because I can tell you it's a roadmap that is not lasting only for 1 year, but instead it is lasting for multiple years. And out of that process, we were also, and out of the co-creation session we had with the employees and consulting with the sounding board, we developed certain strategic guiding principles. And for us, it was very important that they are linked to our Henkel strategy, our HR vision, our Henkel purpose, that they all are resonating with each other. So on the right-hand side, you see our total reward slogan, that we care for and reward our people, because this is indeed what we are here for. And based on that, we also defined the guiding principles for the different total rewards elements. Of course, we want to make sure that we offer a solid and competitive base, because when you talk about in terms of base salary or in terms of structure, it is also important to have this on a highly competitive aspect. And then we, of course, are a performance-focused company. Therefore, we want to reward our employees for the company's success and also for their individual performance and contributions. We want to motivate and retain our top leaders, and we want to make sure that we integrate also sustainability in our offerings and performance management systems. Last part, but definitely not least, is related to promoting our recognition culture and to enable this also with our total rewards offerings. And what we have done in order to bring these guiding principles to life is that we have set up our, let's say, clusters of total rewards pillars. And for us, we just made them in a simple way, if you may say, that we clustered the topics together. So the first topic is related to structure and base, and this looks at our MC level. Here is Henkel terminology, but it's related to our hierarchical level landscape, the base salary and compensation mix. And then for the variable rewards, we have everything from STI to LTI to sales incentives. And we have the typical benefits and as well the supplements, as we may call them, which are related to things where we are contributing to as total rewards, even if it might be common with other areas of HR, such as well-being and as well additional time off. What is worth mentioning is that in our journey, when we were reviewing our concepts, we were reviewing the concepts that are linked together. So for example, we did not decide to change anything in STI or LTI, except when we looked at the base salary and compensation mix. And we took these parts together as a bundle and addressed them. And we also included our recognition programs as part of that scope, because in the end, our STI is recognizing performance, but is it enough? Do we need to supplement it, for example, with other additional or to consider additional recognition programs as well? So that's how we are addressing the topics. And based on that, we are able to make sure that when we are fine-tuning any concepts or reinventing certain concepts, that we are ensuring a comprehensive review that considers all the other total reward elements that might be influenced or be impacted by a change in the setup that we might have. And with regards to the way forward, so what we have done, and so far, as I mentioned, the main focus was in 2020 on the employee listening journey and the benchmarking. And the idea was to make sure that we gain all of these insights and adapt and communicate. So in 2021, what we have done is that we have done a review of some of the elements that are interlinked. We are now preparing for the communication and implementation, and we will launch them as of 2022. And I can tell you that in 2022, we will have the focus on the second phase concepts, if you may say, where we, for example, will address also sales incentives and even leverage further on our employee share plan. So there are always continuous plans to review certain buckets of the offerings that we are having in order to make sure that it fits with our overall strategy and what we want to do going forward. And that's it from my side.
Okay, Shereen, thank you very much. You are perfectly on time, on the minute, so that gives us opportunity to answer a couple of questions, and there are some. The first one, because that question was already posted not less than 18 minutes ago, somebody who wants to know the scope of your compensation team and its structure. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I am responsible for global total rewards, so that includes all countries. And my team as well, we are a very lean team, I can tell you. We are only 4 colleagues who are taking care of steering global total rewards. And we have a regional layer. So we have regional total rewards colleagues who are taking care of addressing total rewards topics. And then we have another layer within the countries who are responsible then for total rewards on a local level. So local, regional, global. And we are also supported from an organizational structure with our shared service center. I know that our colleague from Johnson & Johnson was mentioning this, so I hear you completely how we can benefit definitely from migrating certain processes to the shared service center, especially the global ones. And we have done this already since almost 7-8 years. That we have had our global processes steered with our shared service center for the administration of, from an administration perspective, I would say. So that's how our, let's say, operating model looks like for total rewards.
Okay, great. Then the next question, a very concrete one. So how do you promote a recognition culture? Is there a peer-to-peer recognition program? Can you tell something more about that?
Yeah, so good question. So we are starting, we don't have a global recognition program in place, but this is what we want to develop. Peer-to-peer recognition is something we are exploring, but we don't believe that this would be the first thing that we will introduce, because we have some, with the discussions we had some, let's say, watch outs that how do we ensure that the peer-to-peer recognition does not contradict with the people manager's evaluation of the employee in case it does contradict, let's assume? How do we deal with it? How do we ensure that in the end the employee does not get contradicting messages as well? So this is something that we want to consider. However, from our perspective, what we would want to launch, no, maybe I go one step back. What is existing already in the countries and in our business units is that we have certain recognition awards in place, whether it's for seniority, whether it's employee of the month, you name it, it's all existing and we want to keep it. And we have also some business unit related awards that are in place for, let's say, innovation or things like that that are also awarded. What we want to do is maybe an overall Henkel recognition reward that, for example, reflects the recognition for outstanding leadership, for instance, that we are focusing on things that are reflecting our values as a company, our leadership commitments as well, as a common thing that would be applied then globally and uniformly as well. And that's what we want to focus on for the future.
Okay, great. Yes, one interesting one. Well, we have been discussing throughout the conference quite a lot on benchmarking and that we should not pay too much attention to it and it's only source of information and so on. But someone here is asking, so you mentioned that you focus on having a solid competitive base, and that person wants to know a bit more about it. Is that 50th percentile? Yes, no, compared with which group and so on?
Yeah, a very good question. So indeed, benchmarking is a good reference to have, but sometimes you don't have to follow it one-to-one. And I can tell you that in one or the other concepts, we are getting a little bit derailed from what the benchmarking is doing, and we're doing our own thing. Also, we believe that if we look at salary structures, going for saying we target the median or we target the 75th percentile, that this is too rigid, because in the end, it is not about paying for levels, because currently this is how we are setting it up. We heard it also during the seminar, is that we need to consider special skills. We need to consider also the profiles of the employees when we are deciding on where to position them. And this is something that we want to reflect as well. If we have an employee who has a set of skills that is completely rare, regardless of their experience level, we would want to make sure that they are paid competitively in a solid level in order to make sure that we are able to, first of all, attract them to the company and retain them as well. So I would, maybe it's a vague answer, but indeed we are not planning to go for 50th percentile or 75th percentile. It all depends on the profiles of the jobs that we are having.
And there you take a look at the relevant peer markets, and there you take a look at where you are exactly then.
The interesting thing is that with the diversity of the industries we are having, we don't have one peer group, because also at Henkel, we follow a broad banding approach for all the 3 business units. Therefore, we go for the general industry, and where we find data for consumer goods, then we consider them. But considering that 50% of our organization is made up of our adhesive technologies, which is more reflected in the general industry as well, we take it as a basis, because this is also what is uniformly available within the globe.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Shereen, maybe I would suggest, because there are still a couple of questions, if you could just take a quick look at them in the Q&A
Sure.
and maybe send some answers, that would be great. So,
sure. Thank you.
And thank you very much again. And for our participants,